Hello explorers, and welcome back to the channel. I am Patrick. Jody's behind the camera today. Since our last video with the upgrade to the, or I guess the modification to the camper, Jody would like some artwork to put on. Jody would like some artwork to put on the wall of the camper where we had made our modifications. So she went to ChatGPT and created some artwork that we are going to put on some painted white and black canvas for that project. So she had picked out this beautiful scene of an elk mountain in the back, which looks a lot like Mount Rainier. I'm not sure if that's how she planned it.
No, not Mount Rainier. I just mountains with some waterfall and an elk bugling is what I wanted.
But this is
in the woods.
Yeah, well, this is beautiful for sure. So we're gonna do that today. We're gonna go ahead and laser engrave this on some painted canvas. And so we thought we'd bring you along for that, and we are gonna hang that in that area. So here we go. ChatGPT is great for your designs. You come up with your own ideas and you put it in there and you come out with your own original artwork. So thanks to them and AI. You know, there's good and bad things about AI, and this is one of the good things that come out of AI. So we use it a lot when we're creating our artwork. So some of the other artwork that we've shared with you in the past, we've bought off of Etsy, and I'm sure a lot of that had come from Chat or some sort of AI. It might not have been ChatGPT. So that is what we're doing today. So what I am going to do is we are going to import that into our software for XTool. And as I've mentioned in the past, XTool software is very easy to work with. So we're going to just bring that in. We're going to scale it to fit, and there it is. So first we're going to have to get rid of this last one we did. You were here for that, and we are using 11 by 14 painted canvas today. So without further ado, I am going to set that inside of our XToolS1, and then we're going to set our perimeters for that. And as I mentioned before, I like to go a little bit over so that we use up all the canvas. And then we will adjust our image. And what we're going to do, it will invert it so the blacks will be white and the whites will be black. And then I'm going to adjust the image just slightly so that I know it's going to engrave and we're going to see all the details. So I might walk you through that process just to ensure that all the details there when we start our engraving. So stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and get the laser turned on, and we'll be right back with you. Our first step in the process is to measure the distance between the laser and the piece of canvas that we're going to be working on. So if Jody wants to come on this other side, we will measure that distance. And in the software, it's fairly easy. You're going to just hit this measurement tool here, if you can see that, and then back to the laser so you can see what that will do. It drops a pin, it goes down and touches the surface of what we're engraving, and that's it. It's that simple. It's that simple for figuring out the distance between the laser and the piece that we're going to engrave. So we did that. The next step is going to be to plot our processing area. And from marking your processing area, you have a couple different things that you can choose from. We're going to choose a rectangle. That's what we're dealing with here today. So we're going to start marking. And now back over here, the first thing I do is I use the crosshairs to determine whether we are square. So I'll put the crosshair there and I'll run it back and forth. And we are really close to being square. So I'm going to turn it just slightly so that crosshair is even all the way across. And once I'm satisfied, and of course I touched it, we are going to make our first mark in terms of our processing area. Press the button. You hear the beep. And on a square or rectangle piece, we only have to mark 2 spots. So we'll come down here, and I think that's good, so we'll mark again. And I'll put that in the center. And as you see back over on this screen, that's our processing area, and I will end marking and say done. So this is now our processing area. So it's a little bit low. So I want to probably move that up, because if I go down here, it may tell me that we're out of the processing area. We can try it. I will unlock our grid here. That way I can adjust both sides. And I'll bring that up just a little bit and we'll go there. Put that back. And so if I hit the process, it says element is placed outside the processing area. So what that means is, yeah, we're too low. I didn't set up my honeycomb there well enough. So we're going to come back over here and we are just going to move this up a little bit. And then we're going to go through that whole marking process again because we were outside of it. So same thing, rectangle, start marking, and we're going to do that whole thing over again. Again, we'll make sure that we are square. We're a little out of square, so move that back up. I think we're pretty close there. Close enough for government work. And we will press our button once we're happy with where we're at. And I want to go right about there. Go ahead and hit it. And we'll come back down here to this corner. Get it where I want it. Go ahead and click it. And now if we end and we're done, now when we move this here, adjust it to this, it should be happy with that. And sometimes you want to zoom in to make sure that you are actually on the line. So we're going to do that. And then we'll grab our, like so. Click it again. There we go. Just to make sure we're just slightly over the line. That way we totally fill our canvas, which is what I like to do. I don't like edges on our canvas. Come down here. And now it should say that we're within our processing. Perfect. So we didn't get that error. We can zoom back out. Now as far as our settings, we can come here and we can put in coated or painted black and white canvas, and it will give us suggested power and suggested speed. I like to bring it down to 17 for the power, and I like to bring the speed up a little bit, like around 200. And then 160 to 180 is good, so you get all the detail, which is lines per centimeter. We'll go 170. if I hit process, it will tell me about how long it's going to take. And it's advising that we invert, which we haven't done yet, which is fine. We're going to invert and go back and we'll adjust. But it's going to say 2 hours and 35 minutes, which I told Jody there is a lot of detail here. That might change once I do invert it. We're going to invert. We're going to make adjustments. That was auto adjust. We don't want to do auto adjust. So I'm going to reset it. We're going to invert. And well, here's our adjustments. So on brightness, I usually go about 7 for brightness. Contrast, we bring up to about 10. Tint, we'll leave that at 0. And then I might change grayscale, because this is going to be a little bit too dark. Let's see what that looks like. Let's go back this way. That's a little better. So you have to remember that your darks are going to be light and your lights are going to be dark when you invert. So this will be dark. This will be the light areas. And same with the trees. Trees will be dark. So this will be dark. This will be light. I think we need to adjust that just a little bit more. It might have been too much. Sharpness I want to bring up to about 9. That a lot more detail there. Maybe bring that down to 5 and see what that looks like. I kind of like that for this picture. And for a 2-hour picture, you know, you want your settings to be good, because it's going to take a while for this to happen. If you got to do it again, then you're looking at another 2 hours. So let's see what it tells us now with those settings as far as how long this is going to take. It should change it a bit. 2 hours and 33, so it's still a long process. But I like that. So this is going to be light. This will all be dark. Let me make sure before we totally move forward. Put our tint at 0. Bring contrast up a little bit more. Brightness, where is brightness? So we'll bring that up to 7, I think. Kind of like that. If I brought that all the way back up, I think that's too much. We need to bring that down to 250. Okay. I kind of like that. So we are going to go ahead and see what that's going to take. All right, 2 hours and 32 minutes for this. We've got it set up. We're going to close the door here. And then we're going to set this up so that you can watch as it happens. And we'll do it in time lapse, so you don't have to sit through the whole thing. And then we'll show you the finished product. Very good image. I think this is going to be nice in the camper. And so let's get this thing started, huh?
Yep, I'm ready.
So we'll see you in 2 hours and 32 minutes. It's a laser, so it's creating heat. While we do have the automatic fire arrest, you got to keep an eye on this, so you don't want any fires to occur. So you do have to keep an eye on it. We got the ventilation system hooked up, so that's going to bring all the smoke and the noxious air outside. So without further ado, we're going to fire this thing up.
Ready.
right, so this has completed. Watch yourself as I open this up. All right, this is complete, so we're gonna open it up and take a look at what we got. Right now, it looks gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that detail. The mountains look great. There we go.
Maybe
So
we get it out of here.
what I'm going to do is pull it out, and then I'm going to take it upstairs and give it a quick clean with a magic eraser, and we will be back to show you the end results. But right now that looks great. And so here we are, the finished product. We got it all cleaned up. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I think the settings were perfect. Trees are dark. You can see the snow on the mountains, and then the river coming through. This turned out nice. It's gonna look great in the camper. And she's got it all framed up. So next step is to get that in the camper. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you enjoy this sort of thing, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I'd like to hear your comments. So tell us what you would like to see us do next. Tomorrow we got another video coming, so stay tuned for that. We've got some more upgrades to the camper, or trailer I should say. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next one.